Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe YouTube, subscribe to the blog. You don't want to miss out on giveaways. Follow me on all social media networks. You can also email me, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com, or call or text me anytime. 949-415-6256. I love to talk to you guys, interact with you guys, answer some of your questions on a video, like this one. So this is part 2 of someone's question that I answered earlier, but since the topics are not really related, I wanted to make 2 separate videos. So here we go. This was via email, okay? Hey, are there any regulatory issues with sharing study leads? If a project manager learns you shared their contact with another site, could the project manager not give you any more studies in the future because you shared their contact? So, as most issues in business, this one is in the gray area, okay? But that's okay, because that's where a lot of the action takes place. Black and white is kind of boring. Gray is where all the action is. So, the answer is yes and no, okay? Sure, if the project manager doesn't like you, finds out that you're sharing their contact info with another site, they may choose to not send you studies in the future, although that's very unlikely because it's usually rare that one project manager is the project manager of a number of studies, especially studies going on at the same time, and you would have to have done something really bad for them to single you out, put you on a list somewhere, because everything at CROs are done in spreadsheets and shared with people and collaborated on, single you out, put you on a list that says no more studies. You'd have to do something really bad. Letting another site know that, hey, you should contact this person because they might be seeking additional sites is not on that level of things that will get you in trouble with project managers. However, if you send another site a CDA or a feasibility survey that was intended to be specifically used for your site, or even worse, if you send another site the protocol synopsis when they didn't sign a CDA, that's a big no-no. Right? You can even get sued for things like that. Or sending a protocol, which is one step even above that. I mean, that would just be plain stupidity on your part if you did that. So, of course, those are things you don't do. But telling another site, I do this daily, okay? I have sites all over the country. I get offered a study at one of my sites, so I have the person's information who's offering me that study. I usually email that person back and say, hey, I have other sites interested. Would you mind if I have them reach out to you? 99 times out of 100, they say no problem. Sometimes they tell you, hey, no, we're not really needing more sites. But even in those cases, they still say, go ahead and have them email me because we will keep their information for future studies or for backup sites. Now, let's say you don't email this project manager ahead of time, you're not proactive, and you just tell a colleague, hey, contact this person, which I do every day. Again, I don't have time to email every project manager and tell them I'm going to have such and such email you, although I probably should, and that might be something I'm going to talk to my business partner today and have some people at our staff, DSCS, Sweat Equity and Investments, be more proactive with the project managers. When it comes to letting them know that, hey, we have other sites interested as well, they're going to be reaching out to you. But letting a colleague know that you may contact this person and ask them if they're seeking additional sites, you're doing nothing wrong, okay? This is just good old-fashioned networking, and this is business, right? But sending proprietary information, like a protocol, obviously, no. Protocol synopsis, don't do that. Sending CDAs, this is like murky waters. I tend to not do that. If I get a CDA for one of my sites, I generally don't send that CDA to colleagues and say, hey, send your CDA to this person. I'm not going to lie and say I've never done that, but I generally don't do that. What I do is send those sites, or the colleagues of mine, the contact information of the person they can contact to get a CDA sent to them directly from the project manager. So that, hopefully that answers your question. Your second question is, how can you make sure you do not have duplicate study participants between sites? If you do not have an online application like Intralink, what can you do or use? So first of all, Intralinks is not meant for cross-checking whether a study participant has done another study or is currently enrolled in the same study at another site. There's no way of checking that. There are some companies that exist, and they will cross-reference the study participant with their database to see if they're already in a similar study or whether they've participated in a study before. Intralinks does not do that. Intralinks is virtual workspaces. You can upload your patient information there, your source docs, your regulatory documents to collaborate internally with your team, or some documents to collaborate with your CRAs. Okay, and another video I'm going to do is going to be all about archiving and how you can keep your study records on Intralinks in the cloud rather than keeping boxes of archives for 30 years in a basement or an attic somewhere. But back to your question, what I would do, and I've done this before, is when you're pre-screening the patient and you get the feeling that this person probably is not telling me the truth, there's a chance that they're lying, or there's a chance they're a professional patient and they're just doing this to get money and they've probably already done this study before. You get their initials, you get their date of birth, and you can then call the project manager or the medical monitor or someone at the CRO or the sponsor and ask them to run this patient's ID, initials, and date of birth through the system. They will then flag whether this study participant has already joined this clinical trial somewhere else or not. That's the free way to do it. It takes 5 extra minutes, but they will tell you instantly whether that's the case or not. So do that. Thank you very much for your question. Hopefully it helps. Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.